I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you for everyone's attendance this evening. We'll start with our consent items. The first consent item will be for the approval of the minutes.
Motion to approve the minutes from the last regular meeting on the budget hearing.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion approved. Then we'll move on to the next consent item for the financial report.
Motion to approve the financial reports.
I'll second those.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion approved. Continuing to move on to the item of claims.
Motion to approve the claims as presented. I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion so approved. Then finally, for the approval of the payroll.
I'll make a motion to approve the payroll.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion approved. We'll continue moving on to the certified approvals. And we have two resignations, one for Sally Clark, high ability computer specialist teacher, and for Mindy Rouse, PLTW teacher.
Motion to approve both of these and resignations.
I'll second those.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion so approved. Then we'll continue moving on to classified items. And we have one approval request for the resignation of Michelle Peretti as our cheer coach.
I'll make a motion to approve the resignation of Michelle Purdy as a cheer coach.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion so approved. We'll move on now to employment items. The first would be for the Amy Wozniak, the 5th and 6th grade cheer coach, and the 7th and 8th grade cheer coach.
I'll make a motion to appoint Amy, 5th and 6th cheer coach, and 7th and 8th cheer coach.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion approved. Next employment item would be for Brian McMahon's approval of the 5th and 6th grade boys basketball coach.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion approved. And then finally, we have any background checks approval for Jessica Mosley, Justin Mosley, Christine Shute, and Inga Sellers for high school cheer coaches and dance coaches. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll make a motion to approve those.
Second. Pending background check.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? And motion approved. I think we'll continue moving on with the public comment. Are there any public comments this evening on the agenda? Thank you. Next, we'll move on to the principal's report, Mr. McMahon and Mrs. Clement.
Okay, I'll go first. I have a couple celebrations of our staff and students. First of all, our students participated in the sketchbook coloring contest during their art classes, and we had winners from 3 first place, second place, third place winners, and they received medals at the opening ceremonies. And then I want to give a shout out to Miss Wright. I kind of stole her from the junior high side, but I like recycling, and we try to encourage our students to recycling. And if you've noticed the new container out there, it's a compartmentalized container for plastics, and she got a grant from the Indiana Department of Environmental Management, and they gave her these new containers and a cart so that her student council can go around to all the classrooms once a week and take the recycling out in this handy dandy cart. So huge shout out to Miss Wright. And then I want to tell you about our PLCs. Our elementary staff are doing a book study about mindfulness, and we're trying to learn different ways that we can teach our students to be mindful and some coping strategies. So we read the first 7 chapters, And we're going to continue book study throughout the first semester and try to implement some of these ideas into their classrooms. And sometimes it only takes a minute to teach the kids how to be present in the moment and breathe and relax and have a quick reset and take control of their classroom in a positive way. And then we're also continuing to work on our gifted programming. I've done 2 modeling lessons for them. If you have a chance, Google Paul's Wheel of Reasoning. So it's a wheel with 8 different compartments, and it's a way to teach your students how to think critically. So you can take any of your topic, it works in a variety of topics, and it's a way to ask them questions like, who's your audience? What's their point of view? What are some assumptions? What's the information and data you know, and how can it be used differently? So it's 8 different steps that they can practice in their classroom to help children think critically. And we're also learning how to incorporate differentiation to meet some challenging students, and compacting, where we give them little packets and try to accelerate their learning. And what else do I have? Oh, and then last week we had this wonderful lady named Shauna. She came from Smecken's writing program, and she started out last year. We have adopted her writing, and that's what so we're all going to use the same program. It's 6 Traits Writing. And this time she had the teachers bring samples of student writings, and they put them into 3 categories, and they learned how to use the state rubric that's used on iLearn. And they went through the different stacks of paper using the rubrics. So it's going to be really, really good as they now, for the next, she's going to come back again in January, I think, and they can bring back more samples. And they're really trying to get the students to write using that rubric, hitting all the requirements to hope that we can raise our iLearn scores. So that was a really good session. She really likes our 3 new teachers. They were real eager, and she had positive things to say because she did a 2-hour session with just the new teachers, my 3 new teachers, so that they could catch up from what we learned last year. So that was real good. And then we had fire safety presentation for our pre-K through 3rd grade, and we also had Lions Club did a vision screening. So lots of good things happening.
Thank you.
You're up.
So since the last time we met, until this meeting, we've the staff and I have worked on 2 student-centered initiatives. So the first one is work time expectations. So when we have that downtime in class where the kids have a study hall, we kind of set some expectations for them, the staff did, and we have posters that are going up in every room. And so that's kind of be a buzzword now of, hey, it's work time, and they know exactly what we want from them in grades 6 through 12. And starting next week on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we are having an after-school program called Next Level Teaching. It's for students that can be assigned by a teacher or they can go on their own. It's for group study sessions. If they're behind in a class, they will get additional work there to do. They can catch up on their assignments. It's going to be a structured space for that extra help. There'll be 1 middle school teacher in there, 1 high school teacher, and myself in there. So I will say, like, the basketball schedule that I have fits around this. So my plan is to be there every Tuesday and Thursday with 2 teachers. So it's like I said, it's going to be assigned by teachers or it's going to be voluntary. So if a kid wants to stay after school and get additional help, they can. The teachers that are not in there, they're still going to, if they send a kid there, they're going to go there before they leave. At the end of the day, make sure the kid has everything that they need, and then make sure that they're ready to go for that hour. So that's something that, again, we've worked on all semester, or all the first 9 weeks of trying to get it all situated to be ready to go for next week. Dr. McNulty and I met with Dr. Jennifer McCormick, the former state superintendent. She's now with 220 Youth Leadership. It's an organization that offers work-based learning opportunities, virtual work-based learning opportunities. So one of the initiatives that we're working on this year is getting more work-based learning opportunities for all of our kids, such as our juniors and seniors. And with the new high school diploma, we need to have those things. So this gives us where the kids can earn up to 150 hours of simulated experience, work-based learning experience. They also have many courses with some of the new course requirements. There's a computer science requirement, personal finance, and a college and career prep course. All of those are included in this as well. So I think you guys are voting on this later tonight too. So a really great program. As far as extracurriculars, esports and bowling got off to strong starts this month. It's nice to see all the kids are in esports and bowling. These are like their first times participating in something, a club here. So it's nice to see that we're branching out from athletics and getting more kids involved. So like I said, they're both off to a great start. Bowling, I know Ms. Wright said the first match, they were trying to figure out what's this all look like? What's a bowling match look like? So after that, the second match went better. They had another match tonight. But talking to the kids, they really enjoy it. Esports has gone really well. And I know Mr. Anderson, there's already things that we want to do for second semester and games that we're looking at that kids want to play. So just trying to add to that. Our drama club has been practicing daily and their productions at the first week of November. So we have those kids going. And then robotics, they started mid-July, I think, and they finally have their first competition this Saturday. They go to Caston, and we have teams at the elementary, middle school, and high school level all going. So it's one of the few tournaments that you get all three levels at the same tournament. So I know a lot of them have been in there 4 days a week since school started. So they are itching to get going. Fall sports ended last week. So I would say we had some successes along the way, but I would say we saw a lot of improvement on our teams as well. I know our junior high volleyball team went 3 games multiple times. They were always right there. Just couldn't get over the hump. But they did well. Our golf girls showed improvement, and our cross country kids showed improvement throughout the year. So it's good to see a lot of our kids being involved. Today we took our kids on a rewards trip. So if they had no Fs first 9 weeks, less than 4 absences, and no disciplinary referrals, they got to go to Edmonds for 3 hours today. So we had 85 kids participate in that today. So they were able to do that. And then the last thing, I've been working with Mr. Weller on the weight room. So we took some of the weights out today that we had in here that we were going to take out there. So the kids helped with that. We have a lot of kids that are really excited about that. He took some kids out there last week, and they were just like, when can we start? So they are excited about it. He's excited about it. We're going to revamp advanced PE to be more of a weightlifting class. And like I said, his kids are really excited about it. So just a lot of good things going on at the junior high school. So any questions? Thank you.
Okay, next would be the action item before we move on to that document. Also, has somebody to introduce that.
Yep. Yes.
Oh,
No, that's okay. So I wanted to introduce Ms. Jackie Pillar this evening. She's our new corporate school attorney for us. And so she's here this evening because she was part of our collective bargaining agreement process and also helping us with the bonds. So she's here to help with that process. We want to welcome her, and so glad you're with us this evening. We're welcome addition to our team. So glad to be here. Thanks for being here. So I want to just reiterate some of the things that were mentioned tonight and also elaborate on a couple of others. As I've already talked with the Irwins about and several other people in the community, you've seen that the track is almost done and underway, and they were supposed to have finished the sod as of today, but we had that torrential downpour over the weekend, so it's delayed us a couple of days. So they will have the sod done by Friday, which is exciting. And then we'll have another soft opening of the track and have a community walk around off the track. But we're really excited. It looks beautiful, and we're excited to have our students and our community to be able to use the track. In addition, as Brian mentioned, our athletic building is well underway. The weights are in there. We're working on getting a batting cage in there and the golf simulator up and started for the students. And again, we're proud to be able to add this enhancement for our students. As he also mentioned, for the action items, I'm asking for the board's approval for the new licensure. I just want to elaborate on this a little bit more. Program that's going to be at 220. That's going to give our students unlimited seats for the next 3 years for us to be able to enhance their program offerings. And this is critical for us because for small districts, it's hard to be able to offer all the menu of things that we need. And this will enable us also to be able to give that SEALS diploma that's coming out now, so that we can recruit more students to say we have these catalog of offerings. So I think it's a great addition to our menu. Also, our district is working with the teachers union on the TAG, which is the Teacher Appreciation Grant. We did opt in. Some districts decided not to opt in. We decided to opt in as a district, and we're going to continue to work on the rubric and guidelines, as only 20% of our teaching staff is eligible for it. All staff, not just ours, across the state. So we're working diligently to see what that looks like and to make sure that we are working with our teachers union so that they have a voice on how that's going to be moving forward. It's been a huge change to how that was administered before. Lastly, our Tiger Den, we're going to celebrate our 75th anniversary on January 2nd and 3rd this year. We've made lots of improvements to the gym, concessions, locker rooms, etc. We do have several games happening that weekend, and we are going to be inviting back several of our coaches that were from here, as well as our athletes who were the 1,000 points, right? 1,000-point athlete, so that we can celebrate them. So we invite you all to come and join us for our night of celebration on January 2nd and 3rd. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now we'll move on to the action items, and the first would be for the approval of the Neola contract for the board policies.
So the Neola contract is for us to be able to update all of our board policies, and there's hundreds and hundreds of them. So this is a company that works with most school boards across the state of Indiana, and they would give us the policies, we look them over, make sure that we're good with them, and then make them our own so that we don't have to write hundreds of them. And they keep us up to date every month as the new ones come out.
Motion to approve the Neola contract.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion approved. So the next would be for the resolution of the adoption of the resolution for Neola.
And this allows us to adopt them all at once, so we don't have to go through them one by one.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion for the resolution of adoption.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion approved. And Dr. Manolfi already mentioned the 220 leadership 3-year contract.
Motion to approve the 220 leadership 3-year contract. I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion approved. And continue to move on for the 2025-27 CBA collective bargaining agreement approval.
Yep, so we had this at our last meeting a couple weeks ago. I presented to you the collective bargaining agreement terms, and the union was represented there and spoke as well. And of course, as I mentioned, Mr. Goose and Ms. Fuller were there, and so we're asking for this collective bargaining agreement to be approved for 2 years.
Motion to approve the 2-year CBA.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion approved. And continue to move on to the approval of the 2026 budget documents. Can I do these
All at
Yeah.
once.
Which includes a resolution for anticipated 2026 transfers between the education fund and the operations fund, the budget resolution, the Form 4, the resolution to adopt school bus replacement plan, and the resolution to adopt the capital projects plan.
Motion to approve all 2026 budget documents. I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion approved. The next item on our agenda this evening would be for the board to hold a lease hearing in connection with the proposed budget project. If you're interested in speaking at the hearing this evening, please make sure you have signed the sign-in sheet, which is to my left, which should include your name and address. There will also be an opportunity for the public to make comments about the lease rental to be paid under the lease. At the hearing, we will ask that each person limit their comments to 3 minutes, and that the topic be limited to the lease rental under consideration. The notice for this hearing was published as legally required pursuant to Indiana Code 20-47-3. Before a school corporation may enter into a lease with a nonprofit building corporation, the school corporation must conduct a hearing regarding the execution of the proposed lease agreement and whether the rental to be paid to the lessor or building corporation under the proposed lease is a fair and reasonable rental for the proposed improvements.
And I had a building corp meeting this week, and the building corp met and approved the lease as well.
So at this time, do I have a motion for the open of the public hearing?
Making motion to open public hearing on this.
So as I mentioned earlier, we ask that you state your name and address if there are any comments that you'd like to make today regarding the lease and appropriation of bonds. Are there anybody? Nobody has signed up? Okay. Then I thank you for all participating in the hearing, since nobody has elected to speak. Do I have a motion to close the hearing?
I'll make a motion to close the hearing.
Do I have a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Jackie, could you please summarize the resolution for authorization of the execution of the lease?
Sure. As required by Indiana Code 2047-3, after a lease hearing, the school board must approve the lease agreement and authorize the school board officers to execute the lease. This lease is the agreement whereby the school corporation will levy the required property tax to pay the lease payments throughout the life of the bond issue. Lease payments will be paid to the building corporation and used to pay the bondholders to repay the proposed bonds.
So to the board, could I have a motion and a second to adopt the resolution authorizing the execution of the lease?
I'll make a motion to adopt the resolution authorizing the execution of the lease.
And do I have a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion so approved. And Jackie, could you please summarize the resolution assigning bids and contracts to the building corporation once received?
Sure. The next resolution is the resolution assigning bids and contracts to the building corporation once received. At the bond closing, the building corporation will own facilities where some of the renovation work will be completed. The building corporation will also be the issuer of the bonds. As a result, certain contracts will be with the building corporation because the building corporation will hold the money to pay for the contractors. The school corporation receives the bids and/or contracts and awards the bids and/or contracts under state law, but then retains the right to assign those bids and/or contracts to the building corporation for payment at the discretion of the board.
I make a motion to adopt the resolution to assign construction bids to the building corporation.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion approved. And Jackie, could you also please summarize the resolution reapproving the building corporation?
Sure. So this resolution just reapproves the formation of the building corporation for federal tax purposes.
I make a motion to adopt the resolution reapproving formation of the building corporation. I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion approved. And then finally, Jackie, if you could again, please summarize the resolution authorizing the second supplement to the master continuing disclosure undertaking issuance of bonds.
Sure. So this resolution satisfies the Securities and Exchange Commission requirement that a school corporation enter into a continuing disclosure undertaking agreement if it issues bonds to public investors. The agreement requires that the school corporation agree to timely provide certain financial information and provide notice of certain material events if and when they occur.
And I just want to let the community know and our audience members that we have posted on our website a link of the bond projects that are going to be happening so that the community can keep up to date with the proposed projects, and we'll have pictures and the dates as they move forward. They won't start until June, the projects, but we'll have those on an ongoing basis in real time what's happening.
We have a motion by the board for the adoption of the resolution authorizing the second supplement to master continuing disclosure undertaking and issuance of the bonds.
I make a motion to adopt that resolution. I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion approved. Are there any discussion items this evening?
Motion to adjourn.
And do I have a second for adjournment?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
I appreciate everybody's attendance this evening. Our next meeting will be held on November 24th. Thank you very much.